Hello everyone, welcome back to another Europa Universalis 4 video. This video will be an achievement guide on how to get a hero's welcome, where you have to form the Sultanate of Rum as Karaman. So to start off, you're going to want to disinherit your starting heir, as he is terrible. You could also disinherit your king, but you would lose legitimacy instead of just prestige. So I would choose the heir. Also, your king is somewhat old and will die soon anyway, as I've noticed for some reason my kings seem to die in their 30s and 40s whenever I play Karaman, instead of their 60s or whatever whenever I play any other nation, which is weird. Maybe I'm just unlucky. Maybe it's a thing. I'm not sure. But either way, disinheriting your heir is better. Hope to get a better heir, and once you have a better heir and you have positive prestige, resign your king so your heir will reign, because he will 100% never be worse than your king. Your king is like a 0-1-0 or something. You can't get any worse than that. After that, you're going to want to delete the fort in ISIL. It's completely useless, and it does not help you in any way. You're going to then want to start fabricating a spy network on Ramazan, or Dolkadir. I prefer Ramazan, as I find that the trade province is more important, and improve relations with the Mamluks. Once you are a bit over 100 relations, they should flip friendly, and you should be able to ally them. Once you've allied the Mamluks, I would recommend trying to get some more allies, but it will be hard to get more allies before your first war with the Ottomans. The Ottomans will usually declare war on either Byzantium, Kandar, or Albania. You're going to want to declare war on the Ottomans once your truce is over, and they are at war with Albania. They, usually don't declare war on Albania first, but they sometimes will. If they do declare war on them first, you can try to just continue playing, but it will be a bit more complicated, so you will want to restart if you just want to do this the easy way. Wait a few months, turn your army maintenance up, and wait for your morale to recover fully. And once your army maintenance, is up and your morale is full, and it has been about 4 months into the war, declare war on the Ottomans and call in the Mamluks. They should be at war with Albania, and that would also mean they are at war with Venice. They will actually occasionally be at war with Genoa as well, because I found that Albania sometimes joins Genoa's trade league, which makes this war much easier. However, they usually get, Tunis, and or one of the other, North African minors as an ally, which will make the war harder for you. Alternatively, you can try a different strategy, and just improve relations with the Mamluks ASAP, and then when the Ottomans declare war on their first enemy, Byzantium, Kandar, or occasionally Albania, you can just truce break and attack them. The truce breaking actually doesn't cause that many problems, because, the negative stability is actually not that bad of a thing, because your rebels will actually be more of a problem to the Ottomans than they will to you, because the Ottomans will usually be sieging down your land. I would make your war goal Hamid, as it's the one province that is not in the zone of control of any of the Ottomans' forts. When you do declare war on them so early, it might actually be best, if you can time it right, to keep your troops, in one of these two provinces, with your army maintenance at about 50%, or even here. Whatever is necessary to make them not maintain their fort and car, because if they declare war on Kandar near the beginning of the month, you can occasionally get the Ankara fort, without a garrison, which means you can get it on the first siege check, which is nice. The Ottomans are also weaker before they take Constantinople, so that's another reason to truce break. I feel that, both strategies, truce breaking and waiting until your truce is up, have merits, and I would truce break if you're a more experienced player and think you can handle the problems it causes. The aggressive expansion should be manageable, as you usually won't get a coalition anyway, especially since you're allied to the Mamluks. In the peace deal, you're gonna obviously want to take your cause back. And if you truce broke, you're going to want to take Tanjiri. And usually, Mentisha or Teki is a good choice. You want to do whatever you can to get rid of the Ottoman strategic debts. You need to get a good peace deal in this first war. If you do not get a 50% or more war score deal, you are screwed. Your game will not go well. You need to get a crippling peace deal for the Ottomans. So if you can't get that much war score, I would take Ankara and Balu. That will split their Anatolian holdings, which makes it much harder on them in the future. I would also take Karahasir, Denizli, and Saruhan, and Sugla if you can manage it. That will split their territory again. That is the peace deal I would recommend if you truce broke. If you did not, then occasionally, when the Ottomans are at war with Byzantium, they will often leave them with 1 or 2 provinces, and occasionally even with Athens left alive as well. And you can no-CV them to conquer their provinces, delete the fort in Achaia, or Muria, whichever one it is, and release them as a vassal. You don't want to outright vassalize them, as they will have higher liberty desire, and the fort that they have in that province is completely useless, so there's no point in keeping it, so you want to delete it. That will also allow them to have a larger army. Another good thing, is the extra aggressive expansion from taking their provinces instead of outright vassalizing them is negligible, and it will have no effect, since the Orthodox countries will not be forming a coalition against you anyway, because this is the only Orthodox country you're going to be attacking. So if you, no-CV'd Byzantium and then attacked when they were at war with, Albania, as I did, you're going to want to, in the peace deal, feed Byzantium, Tirhala, Kesri, Adorni, and Yanya if Venice hasn't taken it from them, from the Ottomans, if, Albania hasn't peaced out. You are going to want to take Selanik, Constantinople, and your cause. The reason for this is you want to delete the fort in Selanik, then sell the province, or grant province if you have the correct DLC, to Byzantium, because again, the fort there is useless, and you're going to want to build a fort in Kesri, because it is infinitely better as it is a mountains province, and it actually prevents movement into, Lower Greece. After you've won your first war, if you manage to take that second peace deal I described, you're basically set, as the Ottomans' territory is now split into 2, their Balkan and Anatolian provinces, and Wallachia, Moldavia, and Serbia will all be declaring on the Ottomans, sometimes even Hungary or Austria will, to take their territory, and, sometimes Anatolian minors will as well, and they'll just go into a downward spiral. The Knights actually declared war on the Ottomans in my game. I'll actually show you the time-lapse of what happened. The Knights actually took quite a bit of territory from them, and that weakened them, but Ottoman rebels actually popped up and got the territory back to the Ottomans, which is a thing I haven't actually seen happen that often. Rebels aren't usually that successful. As you can see, Venice took Yanya in this game, and I returned cores to Byzantium and took Constantinople for myself in the peace deal. Here we go, you'll see the Knights taking the territory and then losing it again. Crete actually became independent for a bit, which is cool. The subsequent wars will be much easier, as the Ottomans basically get destroyed by other countries. And you will face, like, 6k Ottoman troops in the Second War, and they will have, like, maybe a 1k army in the Third and Fourth Wars. It's just stupid. It's actually often better to leave them with their forts and just take the other provinces, as if they have to pay to maintain their forts, they won't actually be able to field any reasonable size army, so it actually makes the war easier, in my opinion. As you can see, they actually lost the rebels, so I could take that province earlier. Here you go. So that's the time-lapse. And from there, integrate Byzantium and finish off the Ottomans gradually. You don't want a coalition to form. If it's okay if there's 3 or 4 members, because they won't form if you are still allied with the Mamluks. But don't go too crazy. But usually just eating the Ottomans won't really spawn a huge coalition. After you're done eating the majority of the Ottomans, I would break off your alliance with the Mamluks, because you're going to be declaring war on them and conquering their territory soon. As you can see, I released Syria as a vassal, which is something you are going to want to do if you plan on attacking the Mamluks, as it has a ton of cores on Mamlukian land and will really cut down the aggressive expansion you'll get. And now, I can finally restore the Sultanate of Rum. There you go. And do I get an achievement? Yay! A hero's welcome. So here we go. And I can actually get the Ottoman government type, which is actually really good. So, as you can see, the room ideas are amazing. You get discipline, you get morale of armies, manpower recovery speed, 20% core creation cost, which is awesome. You lead legitimacy. Tolerance of heathens +3 is amazing. Combine this with humanist, and you will basically never have level problems. Humanist is usually a good idea to go for anyway, as converting provinces in the latest update costs a boatload of cash. I'll often get 30 plus monthly gold provinces to convert, which is insane. Naval maintenance modifier, construction cost, and missionary strength versus heretics. Since you have the Ottoman government, you have their awesome heirs, where you can pick between like 3 different heirs when your ruler is 30 years old, and you can see their stats beforehand, which is awesome. I believe they're also slightly better than the average. Here we go. You can also get the Janissaries, which I believe gives extra discipline and maybe manpower. And that's about it. I think this is a really fun and hard achievement. This is probably the hardest achievement one I've ever done, because I have never been this frustrated by an achievement. I spent, I think, over the course of about 2 days of just continuously starting. Well, maybe about 1 day of restarting until I could find a way. Just restarting, Alt F4ing, and just doing whatever I could to find a way to win that first war and get a good peace deal. After that, though, after you win the first war, I think it's like Byzantium, where after the first war, you just snowball, and you can easily take over a ton of stuff. So, yeah, it's a fun game, and I hope this achievement guide has helped you get a hero's welcome. And this can easily turn into a world conquest, guys, because if you look at their ideas, that 20% core creation cost, you combine it with administrative, that's 45% core creation cost, right really early, near the start of the game. If you convert to Coptic, you can get 55% core creation cost. Coptic's a great religion anyway, and you actually have Coptic provinces really nearby, so that's 55% core creation cost. And then Absolutism gives you another 40%, so that's already 95%. And once the administrative efficiency, the first admin efficiency tech pops up, what is it? Here we go, tech 17 pops up, you already have minus 105% core creation cost. By then, you'd have minus 125%, which is insane. There might be a cap or something. But either way, if there's a cap, you definitely hit the cap, and you can just not get that last admin efficiency tech at level 27. You usually should get 23 because there's good benefits to be at tech 23. But you can just not get admin tech 27. And if there's not a cap, which I'm not sure if there's a cap or not, but if there's not, then you just get free cores on everything. So I can go and finish admin ideas. Here we go. And I can get a... Here you go. Extra manpower recovery and land maintenance. Here you go. I could also get that, but these aren't great policies, but the idea sets themselves are better. Anyway, also, oh yeah, ideas. What idea set would I recommend? I would recommend probably what I did. I think actually works out quite well. Admin combos amazingly well with your national ideas. The colocation cost reduction is awesome. Quantity is good in the early game, because the manpower, the extra manpower, is hugely important. That helps so much, and the, land force limit is also very important. I think quantity ideas really shines. It usually shines in the early game, but in this situation in particular, it's even more amazing. I would also go influence, as even though you have amazing national ideas for colocation cost reduction, you're still going to want to have some vassals, because some of the vassals you can get will have their own cores, so it will just be better to feed them stuff. Also, overextension, you don't want to go too high. So I would recommend quantity, administrative, influence, and humanist as your first 4 idea sets. After that, it's really up to you. You could go diplomatic if you really want to go vassal swarm strategy. Or you could go trade if you need more money. You could take up another military idea tech group if you have a ton of military points, and if you are struggling with military. Or you could take up economic or innovative. Although you usually won't have that many admin points, but again, as well, you have a ton of cooperation costs, so it's really up to you. Yeah, that's about it. I hope you have enjoyed the video. I hope it has helped you get the achievement, and that's about it. Bye!